Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Annie's Replay Casting. I'll be your caster, Annie, and this is going to be a fantastic match I'm bringing here for you today. It's going to be match 2202444783, and this was submitted by, I believe, the Abaddon, who has not quite loaded in yet. And as far as the Radiant lineup goes, I think we're going to see some pretty solid combinations. We've got crazy teamfight potential here with black holes and chronospheres on the side of the Dire. It looks like they're going for a little bit more survivability and just raw right-click damage. They have the OD and the Ursa and what will eventually be an Abaddon. But without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce the teams here. On the side of the Radiant, we're going to have Genos on the Faceless Void. Over here, it's going to be Janmon on the Spirit Breaker. Up towards the mid, we're going to have BB on the Invoker. And in the off-laner, the jungling Enigma, I'm guessing, is going to be Fond Okro on the Enigma, and up here is going to be Peezer on the Mirana. On the side of the Dire, given a little bit of hard time here to the Spirit Breaker already. We have I Am Groot on the Ursa. Bang 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 is going to be on the Lone Druid over here near the rune slot. We are going to have Chinese characters playing the Witch Doctor. Jessie Quick is going to be up on that Outworld Devourer, and finally Dotsor himself is going to be playing the Abaddon. So this is going to be an interesting matchup down here. We are going to have Void getting kind of low. Still a cooldown there on the Time Walk. I Am Groot is chasing very, very deep. Maybe trying to find something here, but only an Orb of Venom picked up for the Ursa with 400 gold still in the stash. I'm surprised we weren't going to see any sort of regen. So no Tangos, no Clarities. Just saving, I guess, straight up for boots. Genos is going to be kiting him around to the tower. So I Am Groot wasting a little bit of time here as the waves are starting to meet. The creep score is starting to come out as right now it looks like they're just going to have Bang 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 as the solo offlaner, or the dual offlaner here. So we got so many bears here on the side of the Radiant in the safe lane. Up top we are going to have a safe lane Abaddon here. It looks like he's going to be carrying, given a nice slap down to Peezer. Abaddon has opted to level that Aphotic Shield level 1. Pretty standard unless you see a full assault Abaddon. Sometimes you go for Curse first and then yeah, pretty much aside from that, it's usually 100% shield. Mid lane, it is going to be Invoker slapping up the OD, the 6.86 meta classic. I think Invoker is going to be able to out-CS the OD, but the OD should be able to just rip apart the Radiant lineup late game if he ends up scaling up that Arcane Orb and gets his items, gets his levels. So Abaddon now is hitting level 2. Let's see what he opts to go. He is going to go for the Mist Coil, so less of a super hard carry Abaddon and more of a support, putting that Mist Coil in rather than the Curse. And I Am Groot now joins up in the top lane, leaving 2 bears here in the bottom as opposed to 3. So Ursa is going to be the hard carry, and it's just going to be a solo Lone Druid. That makes a little bit more sense. Meanwhile, Void is being supported here in a safe lane position. I'm not sure how much he needs that. Void is super survivable with the Time Walk on its own, just able to leap away from all that damage coming out, backtrack in a good amount of it. And we'll see how much it delays his level 6. It's always nice to have a Spirit Breaker here, pulling in the lane, getting that XP, but I feel like Spirit Breaker could go for the full position 4 and just roam and never have a single home, charge constantly, and when you're out of mana, just charge back to base. But we'll see how it goes for here. Mirana, meanwhile, is going to be skilling up that arrow, 2 points in the Star Storm, so going for more of that right-click attacky Mirana as opposed to the slippery support Mirana with the leap maxed out. So overall, it's going to be looking pretty even here. No first blood yet at just about 3 minutes in the game. Abaddon going in is going to be rotating down bottom here, pushed in very aggressively, but who's he going to find? Maybe he looks for a kill on the Enigma, but that's very, very greedy. Abaddon doesn't have a whole lot of kill potential, especially leveling Mist Coil over that Curse of Avernus. There is going to be a sentry plop down. I don't believe that was scouted out by the Enigma. Enigma's just so focused on the farm here now. Dotsor has his opportunity to charge in, going in, the Eidolons not being microed against him. So it's going to be a clean disengage there as Dotsor gives Enigma a little bit of a start, but no real blood spilling just yet. Meanwhile, down bottom, there is going to be a charge onto the Lone Druid. He's got bears protecting him. The Savage Roar coming through. Fantastic use. And now Bang 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 should be A-okay. Time Dilation sprays through. Does connect on the Lone Druid, but he should still be survivable enough to get through this. He has 4 Tangos and a Fairy Fire. Mid lane, we do have the Invoker continuing to farm up in terms of overall last hits. It is going to be OD beating out the Invoker by a pretty significant margin, about half a creep wave there. And Jessie Quick, getting what he needs, is going to be picking up the null tally for the stats, and now he has the boots, has a lot of gold, and I'm not quite sure what his first big item's going to be. He should be buying little trinkets along the way, but instead opting to go for a first big guy item. Over here we are going to have the Witch Doctor. He's sitting pretty alright at level 3. He's been doing a great job just keeping himself useful in the jungle, trying to harass out the Mirana. I Am Groot is having a pretty nice time here as well. Last hitting is not ideal, but the Orb of Venom is just so fantastic for trying to go up, especially if Mirana gets too harassing. Down bottom, we are going to see the Mist Coil used to secure the first blood on the Void. He just walked a little too close to the sun, and he wasn't able to get off his time walk in time. So Dotsar goes in. 2 points in the Mist Coil really paying off for Abaddon. Apparently there is going to be a Sunstrike. It will connect. Abaddon does fall. Invoker, great prediction on that. And maybe figuring out that now Invoker does have that Sunstrike leveled up. You may want to start crisscrossing your paths when you walk back to base. In terms of the overall pace of things, people are starting to get their level 6s. Void's still sitting at level 4. There's going to be another charge into Bang Bang, and he's hasted up Spirit Breaker. I don't think... Oh, but the other use of the Savage Roar was again on point. I thought that was going to be for sure a kill on the Lone Druid, but this guy knows how to micro his bear. Meanwhile, mid Invoker kind of struggling here up against Outworld Devourer. Jesse Quick is going to be doing a very good job of last hitting on the side of the Dire. He is going to be flying himself out some goodies. Is going to be completed Power Treads as well as a TP. That's going to be pretty solid for him. Toggling those to Int right away to get the most out of the Arcane Orb. Fantastic playing by him. Meanwhile, we got a bear just kind of munching onto the Spirit Breaker. Can the Spirit Breaker charge away? Now it's going to be Lone Druid securing a kill. There's going to be a time dilation from the Void, but the Abaddon is enough to secure a clean getaway. Meanwhile, Mirana did end up taking down the Ursa up top, so that's a very important kill for the Radiant. You want that Ursa to be constantly farming, and Ursa does opt to pick up full phase boots before going for the Morbid Mask, before going for the Vlads. It's a risky build, and that's something you usually go when you're pretty far ahead, but Ursa might have a little bit of a tough time catching up in farm, as he is sitting on only 14 last hits. Meanwhile, the leader of it all sitting at 27 last hits. Okay, so Swed gonna be picking up his Chrono pretty soon. There's a charge in. Will be banging up, bang, bang, bang. But Dotsar again is here, has the Mist Coil ready to go and the shield. Oh, Void could be trapped in here. He's going for a kill on the bear, but the bear is super, super tanky. He's got 7 armor and just a big chunk of hit points. Looks like Lone Druid is going to go for the Midas on the bear. I think that's a pretty solid play. He's already having a fantastic lane here, and, well, a Midas shouldn't delay him too much. There's going to be an Invis rune on the Invoker. Can he make anything happen? He has the Sunstrike and the Forged Spirits ready to go. But with the Invoker joining up the lane, I mean, there's a charge. They're going to try to go in, but Dotsar goes in, gets a really nice Mist Coil off. Does he pop the shield there on his buddy? I don't even think they need to, as Jesse Quick. Yeah, he's got the Aphotic Shield now. He is feeling almost no burns. He does proc off the Cold Snap, but now it's going to be OD flapping back to base, feeling pretty happy, and well, the Radiant forced to back off, and that's a lot of wasted time as Enigma comes out of the jungle. There's no level 6 on him just yet. You really don't want him leaving the jungle until he has that black hole and he's ready to fight. Looks like the Midas Bear is about halfway online. Just got to get a little more gold for the Midas recipe. And, well, Void, he's going to be picking up his level 6 after this creep. There he goes. So he does have the Chronosphere whenever he wants to fight. Hopefully he doesn't unload it too soon, as that could be a very big mistake if he just tries to go and say Chrono here, Chrono the Bear right now. I think he needs to wait for the team fight combos, because once Enigma gets that level 6, it's going to be dirty. Now there is going to be a charge onto the Witch Doctor, connecting onto... Ooh, cancelled right before it connects onto the Ursa. In fact, there's an arrow, but it is blocked by a creep, and now it looks like Spirit Breaker could be the Sacrificial Lamb. Maledict is not going to connect onto anyone, but now Dotsar is here, does have the Mist Coil again, that's going to be level 2. And it looks like Mirana's able to get the pick on the Witch Doctor using that max level Starstorm. Another charge in, another immediate back out as Mist Coil's keeping Ursa nice and healthy. Mirana doesn't want to sacrifice anything she doesn't need to. Down bottom, it looks like Lone Druid was able to get the kill onto the Faceless Void. I think Void's playing up very far, and needs to understand that this Lone Druid is just absolutely fantastic at using whatever he needs to do. It looks like the bear didn't even have to proc Savage Roar in that last engagement. Void probably just walked up and was not able to time walk away. Root procs are really good. Enigma now has the black hole, maybe looking to start something off, as Void is still holding on to his Chrono. Bang, bang, bang might be the target of the engage. Gonna be poofing his bear back to him a little bit. So Enigma now hopping very close to the lane, but nothing real going to come of it. There's going to be an Abaddon picking up the Bounty Rune, heading back towards the mid, so not looking to fight just yet. Although, there's going to be a rotation around. Bang 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 is haunting, followed up here by the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor does not have the ultimate, but they are going to find out the Enigma here. Does he have to defensively use the black hole? That might be a huge waste. There's going to be a leap in from the Void. Wants to go in. Can he find the Chrono that he wants without trapping his team? Oh, he does end up trapping the Enigma. The Enigma is just getting burned down. That is a huge misplay. There's going to be a black hole, maybe saving the Void for now, but the Void still ends up, or the Enigma ends up falling. The Void gets out alive because the Enigma was trapping the Void was trapping the Enigma in the Chronosphere. Enigma got off a good black hole, but it wasn't enough to save his life. Sorry, they're both purple heroes. Getting a little confused. Sanity's Eclipse is unloaded there onto the Invoker, securing another kill for the Abaddon. Abaddon's doing fantastic here. 2-1 and 2. And now it looks like Bang 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 might end up losing his life. The Moonlight Shadow's going to expire very soon. They are going to be able to find out the Void. Void does have his leap. He's going to backtrack a little bit of damage. It's going to be a killing spree out as Abaddon gets out with just a sliver of health. He has the borrowed time ready to go as well, holding on to that one. And well, that's a fantastic fight for him to get his level 6 in, as now there is going to be a return cask onto the Enigma. Where does it bounce? It doesn't bounce back, doesn't get the double stun, but Dire are showing they are pretty much going to dominate the rest of this laning phase. Ursa now does have his Morbid Mask. It is going to be 10 minutes, so if he wants to Roche right after he picks up a Vlad's, I think that's a pretty smart thing. He is going to be picking up a headdress, so it's going to be building again towards his Vlad's. He should have it out in another 5 or so minutes, and then I'd like to see him take an early Roche attempt. I think that could continue to help the Dire spiral out of control and have just a really successful time moving forward, because I mean, in terms of raw right-click damage, Faceless Void doesn't offer a whole lot. Invoker has some nice mid-game teamfight, especially, you know, Invoker's been maxing out the Exhort, so that's going to be helping him out a little bit. Mirana is actually going for a Midas. She's going for a more carry Mirana build, as she does max out that Starstorm. It's alright here. I think she needs to be having a little bit more game impact, landing more arrows, going in a little bit more aggressively with the Starstorms if she wants to continue to really have that keep up potential with a really known hard carry like an Ursa or a hard right clicker like Jessie Quick on this Outworld Devourer. Meanwhile, mid lane BB is going to have a little bit of trouble here using the Forge Spirits to right click, but again, the Mist Coils flying all around. Abaddon doing his best to just keep everyone healthy. Is going to find out the Spirit Breaker here. Spirit Breaker not looking to initiate just yet. Cast bouncing around from the Witch Doctor. He does have the ultimate ready to unload if they get a stun onto BB, but they know BB can just kind of walk his way out of that one. He does have the Sunstrike and Forge Spirit still invoked up, but he can be changing that anytime soon. Jessie Quick is going to have those drums all completed. He has the Int Treads as well, but needs a little extra something. I'm hoping he's building up. He might want to go a Blink, he might want to go Yules, might want to go to Atos. There's a lot of options here for an OD, and I don't think he's locked into anything particular. If you look at overall XP and net worth, it's starting to tip in the Dire's favor in terms of gold. In terms of XP, it's still in the Radiant's favor, and I think a good part of that is because of the jungling Enigma. He's just splitting up the team further, making it look like they are getting more and more creeps. Meanwhile, Dire, they're kind of clumping up right now. We see Dotsar and Witch Doctor combined here with the OD. They're all clumping up, so they're sharing XP and just not getting quite enough out of the map to tip the XP in their favor. But a couple fights could definitely turn that. Meanwhile, we are going to see Spirit Breaker go, gets Astral Imprisoned up. There is the raw right-click damage there from the max level Arcane Orb. Arrows off the mark from the Mirana, just doing so much damage here. A Cask is going to come through, maybe allowing the Dire to juke around the trees. Fairy Fire consumed, but a beautiful Black Hole combined with a Sunstrike doing so much damage there. The Witch Doctor's the first to go down, followed up by the Outworld Devourer. Nice turnaround as Spirit Breaker gets away with what was probably about 10 or 15 health points. Up top we have the Void just kind of backtracking off a little bit of that damage, and well, Ursa, he's ready to fight, but Void has the Chrono. Void's pretty slippery, and I think Ursa just has to sit and watch while his tower's going to be falling in spot lane. They are going to commit the Fortify there. Nice use of that Fortify at 21 HP. Dotsar looks like he's going for the deny, but Mirana will get the kill. Does end up taking an arrow to the face. Abaddon is going to proc that borrowed time, goes in, just going to TP out. There's nothing left to break it as the arrow's on cooldown for another 8 seconds, and Black Hole is not even an option to break the TP of an Abaddon. Meanwhile, Ursa was killed. Void did end up diving, did have to bust the Chronosphere, but good job Invoker for using the Sunstrike to follow up on that. Looks like there's going to be a charge here onto Jessie Quick. Jessie Quick does have the Sanities, so there could be a little bit of return kill. Jessie Quick is going to pop into that defensive Astral. When he comes out, I think he's just dead. There's not a whole lot the Witch Doctor's going to be able to do. He's going to take a bash. The Voodoo Restoration just not doing enough as Invoker gets what is his 3rd kill of the game. So down bottom, we got Lone Druid. Looks like there is going to be a completed bear, or Midas on the bear, and he looks like he's saving up for Radiance too. That's very greedy from the Lone Druid, but he hasn't been pressured a whole lot, so I think he has the opportunity to do that, put his Midas to work, make this game go long, and the Radiance on the bear is going to be fantastic. I just worry, you know, is it going to be a 30-minute Radiance, or will it be up in time to have a big impact in these mid-game team fights? I Am Groot does finish off the Vlads, but hasn't made any attempts towards the Roche Pit. I think that's something he needs to start actively considering, as that's a really key component of how his hero works. There's going to be a charge. It's going to be pretty short range. Looks like they do want to connect here onto the bear. Ursa does have some rage if he needs to pop it to dispel some of the damage. Looks like they're just going to go in. They're going to unload. They want to get the Faceless Void, but Faceless Void does end up time walking away. There's going to be a mech picked up on the Enigma right now. He wants to go in, but Enigma... no black hole. Might be wanting to pop up the mech to keep Void a little bit healthy as he dives pretty deep here as BB. He's in, he invokes up the Forge Spirit. Sanity's Eclipse just going through, doing a huge amount of damage, but no one's dead just yet. The mech from the Enigma, spending up all his mana. It's going to be a defensive Astral now. Sunstrike does finish off Ursa on the back lines. Meanwhile, now it's going to be Void's time to fall as finally Jesse Quick making some real impact, getting his first kill of the game. Down bottom, there was a push going on that entire time by Lone Druid, so that bear feeling mighty fine. If we look at overall net worth, we are going to see Lone Druid at the top, and that's just because he's had a lot of space to farm, get his items, push out the lanes, and I think Radiant need to start doing something about it soon. They're concentrating a lot of effort here, trying to get the rest of the heroes down and force the rest of the heroes back, but the Lone Druid, meanwhile, has the potential to start taking tier 2s and maybe even sieging tier 3s pretty soon.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Arrow goes through onto Dotsar. It's going to be very short range, so Abaddon's able to walk away completely a-okay. Looks like he's going to be going for what may be an Ether Lens. I think that's a good pickup on Abaddon because he's been using those mist coils fantastically, but he has some flexibility there. He could go for something even as greedy as a Battle Fury. I don't like the pick, but it makes sense. I Am Groot now finally hopping into the Roche Pit. Radiant do not seem to know that's going on. Meanwhile, they're just going to fight the other bears on the map. Bang, 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 applying the pressure that he needs to make this really worth it. He's going to be having enough gold there for his relic whenever he wants to pick that up onto the bear. There's going to be a long-range charge here. They're looking to go in onto the OD. OD with a defensive Astral to prevent the bash from coming out, but there is still an Enigma to follow up. Does use the Soul Ring, so maybe going for a black hole here if they need it. There is going to be a black hole, connects onto the Dotsar as well as Jesse Quick. I think the Abaddon might get out alive, but they do have to sacrifice the OD. And OD a little bit salty about that in the all chat. There is going to be the borrowed time there, proc from the Abaddon, and I think he's able to get away. He's going to take a Malefice to the face, going in with the Mist Coil, doing a significant amount of damage, but the leap from the Mirana followed up with the right clicks is too much, but the root proc from the bear might be enough to kill her. They don't have the TP out in time, so it's going to be a dead Mirana. At least there's a trade there. I Am Groot stunned up, wanting to go in here onto the Enigma, and I think Enigma might be dead. He's fresh out of mana, he's fresh out of spells, he's just going to be squiggling away for his life, but I Am Groot is fast, and the other bears continue to munch on the Void himself. So Enigma does fall, Mirana falls, but they do get the kill on the OD, which is super important. It was a long drawn-out fight, but I think overall, just the last half of the fight is going to go in favor of the Dire. Looks like the relic is picked up on the bear, so that's 100% a Radiance. I think he's going to get it out at a pretty reasonable time, too. There is already, 500 gold there. Just needing the recipe for the Radiance to finish that off, and it looks like... oh, there we go. Radiance Bear. That's well timed. That is a 17-minute Radiance on top of a Midas. This Lone Druid needs to be checked right now, or I think he's just going to absolutely run away with this game. Abaddon's been doing his best to keep his farm up, does opt to put the Ring of Health into his stash to keep room for certain items here like the Stout Shield and the Wand. I like that he's keeping dust on himself, I like that he has a TP, but in certain situations I think the Ring of Health is going to do a lot more than the Stout Shield, so maybe that's something he looks to fix in his inventory. BB going in. He did pick up the early Midas. I don't dislike that pick. I think he's going to have to really work to make his team push into the late game, because it looks like right now is that Dire, they're grouping up, they're getting all the farm they need to just be mid-game monsters and just shove down all the lanes. The OD, he's going to start right-clicking hard very soon as he works on his next item. He does pick up the Blink Dagger in between. I like that pickup a lot. It's going to add to his mobility, it's going to add to his initiations. And yeah, even now we see him just going in. There has to be a defensive leap out from the Mirana, and that means that leap's down for another 30 seconds. The Moonlight Shadow comes through. They are looking for the bash there on the Spirit Breaker. Who's going to be the target? as all of the Dire are here. All of the Dire are ready to go. And it looks like the Radiant, they're going in. They are going to get a really nice Chrono here onto 2. There's a defensive Astral there from the OD outside the pit. OD is the one to take the charge, but the Astral still holds through. There's a Dust, making sure they reveal everyone. There's going to be a Death Ward from the Witch Doctor, but it's not going all the way through, not really as far up as they need it in that fight. Radiant going to get mech'd up. They're nice and healthy, but, well, for now, I think the Dire continue to siege. I just noticed that Void opted to pick up the Mask of Madness as opposed to the Vlads, and I think that's a huge mistake. I think that's extremely greedy. He's going in it for himself. He's getting his own farm, his own Chronos, but he needs the Vlad's aura to help his teammates. Ursa going to be sitting on that Aegis for another 2 minutes. He has the Blink. He has the Vlads. I think this is everything the Ursa needs to be really powerful, and he did get the Roshan there, so ooh. Didn't even notice there, as Witch Doctor was the trade, I guess, as Invoker secures himself his 5th kill of the game. And that was, I believe, just a kill from Deafening Blast and Meteor, just unloading too much damage on the little purple dude. He couldn't handle it. Meanwhile, Abaddon does opt to go for the Vanguard. That's what that Ring of Health was building into. It's going to make him a little bit more survivable, but unless he builds into something like the Crimson, I think it's not going to be what his team needs. Up top, we have the Radiant applying the pressure. Invoker has his Euls finished off. We saw him finish it off in his stash before, but having it flown out in his inventory is going to be doing the work now. Spirit Breaker feeling a little bit poor, second to last on the net worth chart. I think he just needs to focus on more kills as opposed to trying to sit in lane and soak XP. He needs to be constantly charging around, constantly applying the pressure, and eventually the kills should start working out in his favor. But for right now, he's 0-2 and 7. He's getting the assists, but it feels like he's just not constantly ready to go. So for now, Abaddon continues to farm up, and he might end up getting punished for this. The Radiant, they may want to defend their jungle. They do have a Chrono now on the Void. He's looking to go in around the back, though. They have the Cask, they have the Death Ward from the Witch Doctor. This could end very poorly for the Void. Let's hope for a root proc. The Savage Ward doesn't connect, but there's going to be the cast. There is going to be a charge coming out onto the Witch Doctor. He unloads the Death Ward, doing a fair amount of damage to Void, but he can leap it off. He will get about half his health back, and now the charge connects, bashing him out of the Sunstrike, but not quite enough to leave the full radius, and now there's going to be a Dust to reveal the Moonlight Shadow. The Black Hole immediately cancelled by the Enigma. That was such a huge mistake. Meanwhile, in the back, the solo Chrono here onto the Witch Doctor. So yeah, they get the Witch Doctor pick, but it costs you 2 of your biggest ultimates on the team. Radiant maybe just playing this fight a little bit crazy. Now Genos goes in. Again, he has the Mask of Madness, so he's getting a tiny bit of extra movement speed, but not really enough. And now Bang Bang may end up going down, uses the Savage Roar, backs himself off for now. The Sun strikes off the mark, so BB may have to watch his back here. The very low Spirit Breaker, again, is also taking some damage. Bang Bang still feels healthy enough to fight, courtesy of the Mistcoil from the Abaddon, and now on the back lines, Invoker gets on the Faceless Void. That's a huge pick. Void was one of the big guys defending that tower. He's building as more of that big position 1 core rather than the offlane, but it's not so much working out. Mirana, she's got the S and Y, she wants to farm, but at what cost? It looks like her tier 2 tower may end up falling pretty soon. Now it looks like the Abaddon's rotating in. All the Dire heroes ready to go. They are even rotating in the Witch Doctor. Now back from the grave. That's an easy tower going in favor of the Dire. Man, that bear just absolutely melts towers. There's not even really any negative armor going on. Just the sheer raw damage coming out from them is absurd. Looks like it's time for High Ground Siege, as what do the Radiant really do? They've got the Tornado. Looks like they do have the Meatball as well. Invoker needs to land a hell of a combo to get Radiant, or to get to Dire to back off now, as they're just going to go do some serious damage to the Mirana. She wants to run. She can't hide. They're going to be going in with the Euls combo. They get the Deafening, or they miss the Deafening Blast rather, but they do get the Meteor. Getting the Dire heroes kind of low, but the Voodoo Restoration from the Witch Doctor is putting in some work. Even just the level 1 utility skill point is really getting things done. Nice use of the Death Ward there by the Witch Doctor, just kind of zoning him out, securing a lane of Rax. And it feels like the Dire may have to back off and push the other lanes, as there's still tier 2 towers on the board. Sanity's Eclipse is dropped. It does get the Enigma very low. They do get the pick on the Enigma for now. It doesn't cost them anything just yet. Enigma buys back. He's not ready to lose this game just here. Looks like maybe Dire have overstayed their welcome. The Bear's going in, again, just burning everyone down. There's going to be a Chrono. Connects onto 3 units and the Bear. They missed Coil from Dotsar, though, just keeping the Witch Doctor alive for now. Can the Witch Doctor survive this? That is absurd. The Void goes down. They're going to be getting the Spirit Breaker as well, most likely. It's going to be a Moonlight Shadow, but the Radiance tick just might be too much from the Bear. They go in. Lone Druid getting himself a killing spree there. BB is dominating. They do get the pick on the Witch Doctor, but again, it's only a Witch Doctor with his ultimate already down. That's just not even a little bit of a fair trade. Peaser now coming back in and maybe just heading back down. The arrow's going to be off the mark from the defensive Astral from the OD. OD may just have to blink right out of here. I think OD is going to be the trade. So that's a lot of gold going the way of Invoker. Almost 600. So that's just overall good XP, good gold for the Radiant. But they lose Elena Rax and they lose pretty much all their cores.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Dotsar here. He does build up that Crimson Guard, and that's going to be super useful for the next High Ground Siege. Although, I mean, the right clicks aren't super yucky from the Radiant just yet. I would have seen, I mean, I guess something like a Pipe, maybe even something like an Orchid from the Abaddon would have been fantastic, considering, you know, you Orchid up the Void, he can't Time Walk away, he can't Chrono. You Orchid up the Spirit Breaker, there's no way he's charging away, and you Orchid up the Enigma, if you kill him off before he lands a Black Hole, then he's essentially just been useless for the entire fight. Up top we have Bang 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 continuing to farm, feeling really, really good about his impact in the game so far. He's 5, 1, and 8. A lot of that's courtesy of just having a fantastically farmed Bear, AC, Radiance, and the Midas going through. There is going to be some serious damage coming up. A defensive Astral there onto the Witch Doctor, keeping him alive for now, and now it looks like Dotsar just able to 1v1, bringing in the Bear, slapping out the damage. They want to get the kill onto the Enigma as well. He has the Black Hole. He's just going to fall without getting a chance to cast it. The rest of his team was already out of the fight, was already dead. Meanwhile, Lone Druid applying the siege to this top lane. It's looking like the Radiant can't crawl their way back in this. They've got decent high ground defense. Enigma can Eidolon's up some creeps. He can kind of hold on his own. Void, I think that's going to be a Basher, and I really disagree. I think the lifesteal choice was off. He needed a Vlad's rather than a Mask of Madness, and he needs a Blink Dagger. He needs an Aghanim Scepter, something to make his Chrono worthwhile to the team, rather than worthwhile to just him. Because, yeah, he's hitting alright Chronos, but where's the follow-up damage from the team? It's on the Mirana, and Mirana just hasn't had the best game going through. She has a decent kill score. I mean, she's making it work for herself, but Mirana's just not as beefy and survivable of a core as the Ursa, and the Ursa now has a second Aegis of Immortality on himself. He's going to be going in and just destroying this base. Speaking of destroying the base, the Bear may end up falling a really nice Chrono here from Genos, but again, the defensive Astral, you've got to get the OD in the Chrono, or he's just going to do that time and time again. There's going to be a Black Hole, connects onto 2, but the Crimson Guard working its magic a little bit as Dotsar, he's going to proc the Borrowed Time. There's going to be Insanity's Eclipse dropped, combined with the Death Ward from the Witch Doctor, just doing out so much damage. It looks like this is going to be it for the Radiant. Peaser is the only one alive. No buyback on him as well, so he just has to head back to the well and watch as his racks crumble before him.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
That's through backdoor protection as well. So that's just so much right-click damage coming out here. Taking a look at the overall net worth, Lone Druid still capping it out way up top, followed up by the OD and the Ursa. The Mirana just wasn't able to come online. Invoker didn't have that huge team fight presence that we were hoping for him to have. And just, yeah, looking at the overall just gold slope, it is really heavily in Dire's favor. In terms of XP, over 10,000 XP in their favor, and I think this is it. It's Mega Creeps. There's no signs of the Radiant coming back with a fight. They're just going to sit in their base and watch the world burn. So the tier 4s are going to be under siege now, and it seems like it's just a straight-up stomp. Every single lane, pretty much, was won by the Dire. Fantastic, especially fantastic playing by Bang 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 in the offlane against a Void. Void is notoriously hard to lane against because he just time walks off the damage, but I mean, in this case, the Bear just made it worth it. Meatball dropped too early from the Invoker to really have an impact in that fight. That's going to be an Astral up. Arrow dodged, actually eaten by the Witch Doctor, but Witch Doctor won't even fall. The Ancient is under attack. It's getting slapped up by Groot. Eyes on the prize there from that Ursa. He does not want to throw any advantage the Dire have right now, but that might just be too late. Mist Coil comes through, keeping Bang 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 healthy. And for now, it's just going to be a clean GG in favor of the Dire. I don't think Radiant are really able to get this as the Savage Roar forcing Invoker all the way into his base. They might be able to get the Witch Doctor as a consolation prize, but the Ancient still goes down, and GG in favor of the Dire. Great playing all around once again, and huge shout out there to both the Lone Druid and the Abaddon, probably, just for going in. Leveling up the Mist Coil is something that I don't I don't see it being successful a lot of the time, but Abaddon was on point, keeping everyone alive with the shields with the mist coils, and Lone Druid just bringing out the damage, farming up like a madman. Ended this game with 5, 1, and 12. Of course, the ending items don't show the real picture of what was on his bear. The last time I checked, he had a Midas, an AC, a Radiance, everything a bear needs to be a destructive high ground missile. Again, thank you so much for watching the cast. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave me a comment, hit me up on Twitter or email, just reach out, let me know what you think. I'm always looking to improve as well, so if you have any feedback on that, any tips on what I can do better, please let me know. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.